Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today I have a story for you, a tale of ancient power, sacrifice, and a love that echoes through time. The mountains of Harith rose like a wall of frozen thunder, their peaks veiled in silver mist. At their base stood Erinder and Mira, cloaked in scavenged furs. It had been weeks since they'd fled the desert, the masked figures' warning still ringing in their ears. The path upward was narrow and slick with frost. A heavy silence pressed on them, broken only by the sound of their own breathing. Every so often, Erinder would stop, staring into the distance as if hearing a whisper on the wind. That Mira could not. She never asked what he heard. She feared the answer more than she feared the gods. At night they sheltered in caves. The shards of the broken crown, wrapped in cloth, cast a faint, shifting light on the walls. Erinder no longer slept. His eyes would close, but his mind roamed to other places, to dreams of starlight thrones and oceans of molten gold. In these dreams he was not Erinder, but something greater, a being of fire and will. The dreams were beautiful, and they terrified him. Mira watched him across the fire, his face growing thinner, older. He was becoming what the crown wanted. When he caught her gaze, he'd smile, but it was the smile of a man struggling to remember how to be human. "You've stopped saying we," she told him one night. "It's always I now." He looked away. "Maybe I have too. This path leads through me." "That's not destiny talking," she replied. "That's the crown." His silence was her answer. On the third day, snow began to fall, thick and relentless. Guided by the pull of the last shard, they pressed on through a world of white. At sunset, they reached a plateau. There stood a monolith of black stone, split down the middle. At its base was a frozen pool, and beneath the ice a faint light glimmered. The last shard, Erinder whispered, but as he knelt, the air grew still. A voice filled their minds, ancient and deep. "3 shards you bear. One remains. To claim it, you must see what you are." The ice cleared like a mirror, and Erinder saw his reflection, a figure of gold and ash, with eyes of fire and wings of light. He tore his gaze away, panting. "You are the vessel," the voice pressed on. "The circle must close." Mira pulled him back. "Don't listen. It's showing you what it wants, not what's true." He looked at her, trembling. What if they're the same? The ground shook, the ice exploded, and from the crater rose a column of golden fire, forming a man of radiant light. "I am the first flame," its voice thundered. "Orion, the king unburned. You have gathered my heart." Erinder stood motionless as the shards rose from his satchel, forming a molten crown above his head. "You were supposed to stay gone," Erinder said, his voice strangely calm. The being laughed. "Mortals forget their gods, but you remembered." The crown began to descend. Mira lunged, knocking Erinder aside. The crown struck the ice, searing a hole through it. "Erinder, fight it!" she screamed. Tears streamed down his face. "I can't. It's inside me now," the flame being turned to her. "You would defy your god, little shadow?" "I would defy anyone who tries to take him," she declared. But Erinder raised his hand. "Leave her," he commanded, and even the god hesitated. Erinder's eyes burned gold. "I am what you made, your reflection, your ruin." He looked at Mira one last time, a silent apology, and thrust his hand into the molten crown. Light consumed everything. When Mira awoke, the mountain was quiet. The crater was now made of glass. Erinder was gone. She searched for hours until she found the crown, broken again, its light gone. Beside it lay a golden sword, still warm. "You did it," she whispered. "You ended it." But a voice on the wind answered Erendor's voice. Not ended, changed. The sword trembled, and for a second she saw his face in the blade. Not divine, not human, but something in between. She clutched the sword to her chest. "Then I'll carry you, until the gods themselves forget." Centuries passed. In the city of Velher, a scholar named Alir Aven spent her days deciphering ancient texts. Every night she dreamt of a man standing in fire, his eyes filled with grief. One evening, a chest arrived from the royal archives. Inside lay a broken circlet, the Ashen Crown. The moment her fingers brushed the metal, she heard a whisper. "You found me." Strange things began to happen. Words appeared on her manuscripts. "The bearer remembers. The fire sleeps. Wake him." Her dreams grew clearer, filled with mountains, ice, and a woman named Mira. One night a man appeared before her, a figure of tarnished gold and pale eyes. Arinder, the crown endures, he said. I thought I ended it, but the gods are patient. You bear Mira's blood, the balance is fading. I want you to finish what I could not. Alira followed his guidance, traveling north to the Hereth Mountains. She found the crater of glass, and beneath it a buried light glowed. As she knelt, the shards in her pack hummed. The crown pulsed. Arendor's voice was everywhere. You can end it, Alira, but every ending is a choice. She stood, then let it be mine. Light erupted, pure as dawn. For a moment she saw him, whole and smiling. Their hands met. When the light faded, the mountain was still. No crown, no sword, only a single white flower blooming in the snow. The legend of the Ashen Crown ended not with ruin, but with remembrance. And sometimes when the wind passes through the mountain stone, a whisper can still be heard. The crown endures, but mercy wears a mortal face. Thank you for listening to this story. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking this video and subscribing for more Tales from Forgotten Realms. Until next time.